Is she right? Is Ebony K. Williams right? Should women reconsider how they plan marriage and when they decide to get married? I think she's right. I mean, I think there's some powerful argument as to why she's right. Before we get into the video, I'm going to ask that you subscribe to my channel, please, and also hit a like for this content if you like the content. Thank you. It really helps me. Last week, I got notice that two more friends of mine are of cancer. A lot of people are coming down with different ailments and whatever. One situation was particularly, egregious. So the person has pancreatic cancer, and they've got quite a bit less than a year to live, according to the doctor. The problem about this situation that makes it so is she's going to leave behind a 9-year-old daughter. The lady's in her, mid to late 40s, and she decided to have the child later in life, but things worked out the way they worked out. But it just made me think about this whole debate with Ebony K. Williams, in terms of should women reconsider. And she admitted that, her first statements were wrong. I don't really see the debate, to be honest with you. Like the arguments that basically, why this fits in with a natural pattern of life, I think are pretty obvious. Okay. Let's look at some of the, let's look at the why we should do it the way women have chosen to do it. And that is because women want to get married. They want to have that choice. They want to get married when they want to get married. And we certainly understand that. Is this something that is just an entitlement thing? I mean, this generation is big on entitlement. And this is not something that is a women thing. Men are definitely also big on entitlement. I mean, this whole generation is about entitlement. But I think, we've carried it too far. The lady who has cancer, when she was in college, her high school sweetheart wanted her to get married, and he wanted to have a child. He didn't want to do it. I'm not going to get into the whole story. I really don't know it that well, but I think the it's one of those kind of things where, to me, it just seems obvious that all right, when you're young and fresh, that's when you should be getting married. Even before college, if the society was old enough, and if we were preparing men and women to handle marriage, which we are not. But that's just a cultural thing that can be changed, just like we've changed it into the situation that we have now. We can change it back. I mean, my family put pressure on me to go to college, to a college I did not want to go to, but I went because it allowed certain things to happen, and my brother got a chance to go to college and stuff like that. So I went to a college I hated. And had my family came to me afterwards, after I got out of college, and said, "Hey, we need for you to get married in the next couple of years," and they came up with some ladies that were decent choices that that I could work with. Um, I probably would have gotten married if that were the going thing to do at the time. I mean, of course, I would have bucked. I would have been like, I'm protesting. I don't really like that. But I mean, if they came up with half decent choices, and their community was going to get behind me and everything, I probably would have went with it, and it probably would have worked out. I mean, it couldn't have ended up any worse than what actually happened when I did get married. I mean, and in the times that I stayed single for a few years, basically, I did a lot of foolishness. I had a lot of fun, but I could have had the same amount of fun, 10, 15 years later after I got older. So it wasn't that really. I mean, it seemed like it was a big sacrifice. In hindsight, it wouldn't have been no big sacrifice. And it's not now. Why should women get why what's the argument for women getting married in college? Well, they're more fertile. They're going to have less health issues. They're at their peak attractiveness. They're going to have more men who are going to be willing to marry them. They have not been exposed to all of the trauma that they're going to be exposed to later. And younger women are more attached to the extended family. They're still in contact with the parents. They're still in contact with the aunts and uncles, grandma. Grandma's still alive. And so there's more people to help raise the kids and to help them get past problems in marriage, because there's going to be problems in marriage. There's going to be problems in marriage. So, it's going to happen. I don't care if you get married at 13, 20, or 40. There's going to be problems in marriage. But if you're younger and you've got that extended family still there, that got more people to help you get through this, society has elevated the ego to such a high place. Everything now is woke culture. Everything is like, entitlement. Everybody should be able to do everything they want to do. And, we got to respect the rights of every homeless person and every person who's, lives on the 6th floor, and every person who bought, a toy 10 years ago and saved the receipt. Yes, okay. Got to protect all these rights. We got to do everything exactly the way to make everybody feel good. But you can't ignore these facts. You can't contest the all of the things that basically say the younger the woman gets married, the better society is going to have it. And if you ignore this stuff, there's going to be repercussions down the road. And yet, that's what we think we should be doing. We should be ignoring these things, twist it around, come up with all these political reasons, come up with all this feminist stuff in terms of what that, women should have the right to, cross the road, at 10.2 meters, and if they want, whatever. It's just stuff that we've coming up with now that, we want to have this liberal hive mind that everything has got to be this way, morally this way, whatever. That doesn't make common sense. We've tried all of this stuff, it's failed. We've tried no fourth divorce. It's not going to work. It hasn't, never did. We have this old big thing with child support, this whole structure in place, but we don't want the man in the family to fail. We're looking at all of this stuff that's failed, and yet we're still trying to support it. We're still trying to justify it, and you can't. And we keep having these arguments about stuff. Well, okay, a lady comes up and says, well, I used to believe this. That's what everybody said I should believe. And now that I've lived the experience, no, I was wrong. We should be doing that. And you would think that people would be like, okay, let's listen to why she's saying this. And then you hear why she's saying that, and you're like, yeah, she's right. But no, they want to default back to all of this foolishness. And not working. We are the sum of all the negative choices we have made over the past, and now we have really, kind of screwed things up pretty bad. Now, the thing that we're left with is not such a good outcome socially. No matter how you twist it, no matter how you put it, no matter how you spin it, we're not in a good place. And in this particular subject, you got all these women now who are basically, they're alone. They can't go back. They can't just say, well, let's do over. No, they're already in their 40s, they're in their 50s now, and they are stuck with the options they chose. And a lot of them, I think, if they had not been influenced by the media to make these choices, they wouldn't have made them. They would have chose something else. But then again, that's how it is. Basically, so many women now are running out of options. And, some of them are blaming men, some of them are blaming this, some of them are blaming that. Um, but we keep doing this. We keep seeing the common sense way that we need to be operating, what the culture has taught us over the last 100 years. All you got to do is go back and read history. So we should be we should be able to spot these things that we know are going to come back and bite us and just say, okay, let's sidestep around that and go a different way. I often have memories of how things used to be for me when I was young, and they are fond memories in terms of the good old days, the way things used to be when people had, were working it a little bit more the old-fashioned OG way, and those are fond memories. And I feel a little bit sad that the current generation won't ever know those memories. That won't be the majority of that generation. That won't be their memory. And I miss what could have been. I mourn for a generation victim, that's a victim to these ideologies that people should have recognized were false beliefs. And they still want these things to be true, but you can't make it true. You just can't force it to be true when it's not. Okay, that's my 2 cents. We continue, and I hope that um, we look at some of these things that's going on in society with clarity in the future, and resist just going along with these notions because the majority feels that they're right. Night.